in. Three, two, one, go.
Yeah, baby, yeah. Yeah, baby, yeah. Good evening, guys. How you doing, Facebook? How you doing, YouTube? Welcome to another broadcast. I'm your host, Mr. Finn. Today, I have a special guest I'm going to bring on. His name is Teacher Raffaele. In English, we write Teacher Raphael. He's an Italian out here living in Brazil, teaching English just as I am. And my aim is to kind of have a conversation with him and I sharing experiences, asking each other questions, and to give you guys kind of an inside look on what it's like to live abroad and, teaching English abroad. So that's my objective. There's lots of challenges and adventures and fun, and there's lots of culture clashes that I would like to get his insight on it, and then mine as well. And then together, and engage and interact with you guys. So let's see who's in the chat before I bring on my guest. We have my brother, Matt. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you. Mr. Tony Bruno, the man himself. How you doing, Tony? Good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Peekaboo. Hello, Peekaboo. Welcome. Flavio. Hi, Flavio. Where's Mr. He's coming. So without further ado, here's Nutshots. How you doing, Marty? Good to see you, buddy. So let me bring on my guest. Without further ado, let me introduce Teacher Raffaele.
Oh, wow. Hello, Lloyd. How's it going, man?
It's quick, buddy.
Yeah, it's fast.
So,
that was just like, there's nothing to tell about me. I mean, I don't know who's in chat, but people know.
Well, just introduce yourself to my audience, because I think your audience may join us and they know you, but my audience doesn't.
So it's good. Basically, I'm an Italian who used to travel. I travel here in Brazil, looking for a better life, leaving the past behind. And, so far, I've been enjoying being an English teacher and also businessman myself. I mean, saying that I never thought being a teacher before was just like kind of a joke. I mean, I know how to speak English. I did a course about English teaching, and I saw that in Brazil there was such an opportunity. I say, oh wow, so nice. And so far now I am what I am.
Yeah,
an English teacher working with myself.
Yeah, that's interesting that you already start off with that topic, because that's one of my questions on the list that I put there. Like, you're an Italian, right? So you come out here to Brazil. What provoked you? Like, what made you choose to teach your second language rather than your native tongue, rather than Italian? Why English?
Well, first of all, English, despite what people think, it's not a complex language to learn. It's kind of simple. And plus, Italian is a very nice language. Italian is an old language. Italian is beautiful, I have to say. But point is, in Italy, with Italian, you can only go to Italy. With English, you can go anywhere. Oh, okay. Viva Italia, I see here.
Yeah, that's
nice, man.
That's the great Tony Bruno. If you ever get a chance, check out his videos. He does lives twice a week. Really good guy. Dreams to go to Italy. One of my dreams. I love the culture. And mainly those who know me kind of know how passionate I am about eating. Like, I love eating, and one of my favorite types of food is Italian food: pizza, pasta, Parmesan. I love it. And I love, my family's Portuguese, right? My mother immigrated to America from Portugal, and I saw a lot of correlations between my mom's culture, like my grandparents from Portugal, with the Italians, like the old women, who are widows, were dressed in black. The family congregates in the kitchen, not like the Americans in the living room. Congregate in the kitchen. Lots of food revolving around the table. And I noticed these differences. Talking loudly, passionate people, right? So I saw these, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Like, Italians talk point is like you believe that in Italy you think it's kind of normal. When you move outside Italy and you start visiting other countries and you start to act like as an Italian, you understand like, whoa, we are so loud.
Yeah. And you know what's funny,
Yeah.
Rafael? That's kind of the direction I want to go tonight. I mean, we have time. My aim is to be here about an hour. If we go a little over, that's no problem. But this is the kind of thing that I want to bring to my audience is this culture shock, because most people, and Americans in particular, Americans are different, in my opinion, than Brazilians and people in Europe. Whereas America is already a very rich country. So Americans don't often travel abroad as often or as frequent as other cultures. Like Brazilians, you know this, they travel abroad all the time. Europe is a collection of countries. And now with the European Union, it's easier to go from one country to the next. But America, it's not common. So I believe Americans kind of have this this presupposition, this belief, like because a lot of what we understand by different cultures in different parts of the world comes via media. And it's totally different from when you actually go there and you go to that country and you think to yourself, this is not what I expected. You know?
Well, oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, point is, we have to understand one thing. Why I got, now we go back to your first question, like why I wanted to
English.
come in Brazil.
Well, I didn't ask that. I was going to ask that. You kind of answered that before I asked that, but I asked, coming to Brazil, why did you choose to teach English rather than your mother tongue, Italian?
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it's the first question people ask me, why don't you teach Italian? Again, I mean, with Italian, you only go to Italy, so it's a beautiful language. And, makes sense because like, but I'm going to ask you something. Why a Brazilian teaches English and not Portuguese then? Or why another person like a Russian? I worked with a guy from Hungary, and he taught English, but not his language. We have a lot of foreigners. So English is the language of the world. By the way, that was not the reason to come in Brazil. I came in Brazil to look for a better life. The idea of the job area was different. The idea was work with security, because that's what I used to work before. Right? So I said, okay, let's
what kind of security? As like a security guard, security officer, or like
security guard, security officers, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Security officers, kind of things. I know that everybody knows that Brazil has its own problem. So that's more the media. So I mean, that was something that I like to do. And I came here and I saw, well, maybe it's time to stop working with these kind of things, find something more comfortable. I saw also that, unfortunately, people are not well paid here for security. So I thought, well, maybe let's find something else. So I was walking on the street and I saw an English school, and I say, well, an English school here. I've never seen that in Italy. It's kind of weird. But when I walk a little bit more, I saw another English school. And then when I turned my face on the other side, another English school. It was English school everywhere. And I say, what the heck? I mean, like, so many English schools. I say, why? And then I start to understand how important English is for this country and also all over around the world. That's like, lots of people here, like, and I thought, well, English, you can go anywhere like me. I mean, now I can go visit somewhere else. I mean, like, so Brazil is not only what, the TV and the media describe. It's not only a place with crime and, criminals anywhere and poverty. Okay, there is that, of course, like in other countries, but Brazil is full of opportunities, and it's a beautiful country. It's rich, full of, you can do anything here, by the way. That's why I say it.
No, you can, and it makes sense. And I asked that more from my audience because I kind of understand that. English, and this is one of the things I'm sure you do the same when you talk to students, and this was something I talked to when I had more like younger students and the kids and teens. They don't see the need. I live in Brazil. Why do I need English? They don't see the value in it. And they're there, and not necessarily because I taught at both a normal school, and like I taught 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and I taught at a language school. both places, but particularly the normal school, I had a harder time teaching the kids just because they didn't think like they needed it. I found myself oftentimes being more like a babysitter sometimes. And the challenge in doing that, I would have to figure out ways to make the class more enjoyable, entertaining, and bringing it to life to show them the actual need of it. I don't know how many of my own students that I have now that are adults, they would confess, oh man, I wish I had studied when I was younger. Oh, I wish I had realized the importance of it. Yeah, you're laughing because you know it's true. The same thing, right?
It's the same thing. Like I hear this every day. The point is like
Yeah.
one day they decide to leave their country, like I did and like you did, they regret the fact that they cannot communicate, and they want to go. They want to go because they say this. I think this is something like for everybody. Like when is a person who lives in whatever country it is, doesn't matter. You can live in France, you can live in Italy. Many people ask me, why you left Italy so beautiful? Indeed, it is. Italy is beautiful. It's amazing, like all Europe. The point is like a human being wants adventure, wants to see something different. I mean, like I know Europe, I know how beautiful it is, and I love it, and I wish I could go back right now in this moment. But I came in Brazil. It could have been another country like China maybe. The point is like humans being wants to travel and they like to the adventure. They like to do something different, And Brazil is different from Europe. Doesn't mean that it's bad or worse. It's just different.
Totally.
And you love it when you're there.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? We both came here under different circumstances, different conditions, totally different. So when you came here, let me ask you, did you come first on vacation and think, I can make a life here? Or did you actually come with the purpose of, I'm going to make a life there? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I understand. I came here was like a shot in the dark. So I didn't really know what I was exactly about to do here. If we're about to do what I really wanted to. I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. If it's not gonna work, I just like move somewhere else. I mean, like on that time, I wanted to say, okay, if this is a place, good. If it is not, let's pack and go somewhere else. I was about to go anywhere that would have brought me some adventure.
Gotcha.
That's the idea.
Yeah, makes sense.
When I came in Brazil, I saw that Brazil was through 2014 was rich of opportunities. I saw that foreigners, different from Europe, they're well seen here. They're well considered. Like, oh, you're a gringo. And, we are gringos for them. Who doesn't know? Oh, you're a gringo. Very nice. And that people see you are interested, and you have some kind of wow. So people here really are interested. So why are you so interested about going out? Because I want to see Europe. I know many beautiful things, and you feel like, damn, how they don't know this? But because we were, between gasps, lucky to see these things. We're born there. That's why.
Yeah.
And
you know what's funny too? Like I came here under totally different circumstances. I never planned to move abroad, right? I'm a very patriotic American. You can see like I have flags in my office here.
That I know.
I love, yeah, we know each other. I love my country. It breaks my heart what's going on right now. Nowadays, what's going on there. I love the history, everything about it. I came here under different circumstances, and many people, especially my students, and I don't know how many of my audience knows this about me, but I came here to save a failed marriage. I was previously married before from a woman from here for a long time, and it just was bad. It just, my brother, if he's still in the chat, he knows this woman. She made me, I was like an accessory for her. Like she was very educated from here, and she made when I married her, I took her to America with me. I took her to America. I had no reason to live here. I was very successful in America. Like you, I worked in security, but I was installation. Like I was an electrician. So I made a very good living installing the loss prevention system at stores, the cameras and those sensors by the doors, and the card readers. You come to a door with a card, bloop, and opens the door. I was the foreman of the company. So I ran the jobs. I made a very decent living. I had 2 cars. I had a truck. I had a 67 Mustang. I just didn't have my own home because in California, property is very expensive. So That's the only thing I didn't have. But I had 2 vehicles. I made a pretty good living. I ate well. I lived well and stuff. And then when I married my ex, I told her we're going to come to America. That's where my life is. But she just made my life miserable. And like what you said about adventure stuff, I've moved around a lot in my life. I've lived all over America, not all over America, but I lived in California, a little bit in Arizona. I lived in Nevada. I don't know how many cities I lived in. I've been to like 3 different high schools, 2 different elementary schools. So I learned how to adapt. Does that make sense? Like I knew how to get by. So we made the decision, let's go out to Brazil. I figured I can adjust and adapt. So we came here, and my aim was to save that relationship that wasn't worth saving. And I realized that when I came here. After coming here, after the first month, I was just like, what the hell did I do? And I spent probably about another 2 years just dying slowly every day, just dying slowly until 2012. Because I came here in 2009. It's gonna be 12 years I've been here in April. Can't believe how
I came 3 years after you.
Yeah, I just can't believe how fast.
4.
You came 2014, right?
2014, yes, more. It's not
That's
really
5
much
years.
more.
Yeah,
5 years after you, yes.
5 years after me. So anyways, so I made the decision to get out of that relationship. It was the scariest decision I ever made because I had no guarantee. I had no family out here. I had no place to go, no place to live. I actually was homeless for a little while when I made that decision, but I didn't stop. I was very lucky that I had a job. At that time, I was working at 2 places, CCAA, I think where I first met you, and a school
over
here
there.
school here in Cidade Viva. And that's what kept me going. And anyways, it's a real long story. And then it was only just 2 years after that I met my current wife, and I stayed. And the funny thing is, like I started training to be a teacher as soon as I came out here, because I think you understand this, like here in Brazil, and getting to this idea about differences in culture. In America, you don't need to be graduated necessarily. If you go to a trade school, that's great. Or you could just what I did, work under like a contractor. Just work with the contractor as a grunt and kind of work your way up and learn, get the experience. And then eventually, after so many years, I forget, you can take the test and get your own license. Like I did. I got a C10 license. So I was a certified electrician. And I did well. And I did that without formal education. But that's the thing about America. America, it's the land, like you say, it's the land of opportunity. If you're not lazy, if you got a good head on your shoulders, like if you're teachable, if you pick things up, if you're bright, not necessarily like book smart, educated, but if you're bright, if you learn, you can grow quickly and you can make good money. Whereas in Brazil, it's really hard to make a good living unless you're certificado, right? Unless you have a diploma or certificate, right? And I witnessed that firsthand. One of the schools I was teaching at, the Cidade Viva, at the time, I was one of the teachers that had some of the best results, right? One of the best results. My brother's a plumber, right? Here's my brother here. Thank you. Not a grunt, an apprentice. Well, come on, man. I'm not being technical. I'm using layman's terms, right? Say a grunt. A peon. Yeah. You get what you give in America. Need to hustle. That's true. And that's what I love about my country and my culture. You get what you give. You put in the work and you are successful. Here, it's totally different. It's totally different. So unless you have the diploma, unless you've been graduated, you're really not looked at as anybody, kind of. And going back to the school I taught at, I was one of the teachers. I'm not going to say I was the one, but I was one of the teachers I know that was having some of the best results. Like my students, I was actually creating English speakers with kids, young teens, and other teachers they weren't having much success, but I think a lot is with the approach. Understand the Brazilians are very grammar and very,
I have a lot to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, we may get a chance, and this we could do other lives too, right? But that was the thing, but the funny thing was, even though I was one of the teachers that was producing some of the best results, there were other teachers that were making more than me. And when I realized that, I started questioning, like, why? They were certified. They were certified. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So what did I do? I went to a private school here, Una Vida, UVA.
I think
It's
it was Uva,
Saturday.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's UVA, but the UVA is like the abbreviation for Una Vida. That's the name of the university. And I went there. It was a 3.5-year course, every Saturdays, 8-hour days, every Saturday. And I put in the time. I got my diploma. And so now I'm legit, and I don't even really work at any place anymore except for one school. I prefer doing my own thing now, but the funny thing is that's the biggest difference here. So why did I go into teaching when I was an electrician? Because I wasn't an engineer, because I wasn't the business owner. And when you're the grunt, or like my brother says, the apprentice, you're not going to make much. Yeah, you're not going to make much. The one who makes it is like the owner, the engineer. So I got into teaching. Now, I had zero experience in teaching. So why would I choose teaching? Well, first, I consider myself a pretty decent communicator. I'm a talker. That's one of the things that I work on until today when it comes to teaching, the teacher talking time, trying to reduce that, let my students talk more. Right? So I consider myself a good communicator. When I used to work as an electrician at the company I worked for, I was the one that I would always train the new employees. So I had some experience, quote unquote, teaching. I'm the oldest of 4. My brother's on the chat with us. I'm the oldest of 4. So, having brothers and after my parents split up, I was kind of thrusted in a leadership position. So I kind of had that experience. And to top it off, I'm an actor too. I used to be an actor in Hollywood when I was a child, and I did theater in school. You didn't do that, right? You didn't know that?
I didn't do that. But I did, but more didn't know and didn't do. But
yeah.
I did most of the things you did, I did as well. So, I mean, we are too much similar because I've been a plumber, I've been an electrician.
No, I wasn't a plumber. That's my brother. I didn't do plumbing. I was just
sorry.
I did electrical. Yeah, that was math.
Oh, sorry. I want to mix up electricians with plumbers. Sorry, that's two different things.
Yeah, you got the pipe layers and the shot and the, what do you call the plumbers? Sparkies. That was the nickname he gave the electricians. Sparkies.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, yeah. So I was I am. I can't say I was, because I'm an actor too, and I think that was probably one of my best features when it came to teaching, because I look at teaching when I'm going to give a class, it's like I'm going to put on a show. I bring the energy, bring the charm and the positive vibes, and I think you can relate to this. Teaching is wonderful. It's amazing. When you have a great class, it's like very symbiotic. You go there with positive energy and you're having a good time, and the students are great, and they're spitting off their energy, and you feed off their energy. They feed off your energy, and you finish that class. It's like, wow, an hour went by like that. Woo, right?
Yeah, there are some students that, especially the private ones.
Especially really like. Why do you think I went mainly private? It's so much more fun.
It's another world.
It's another world. And then, yeah, but there's the only downfall, I would say, with going private. One, there's no guarantee. I have no desmutaceru. The Americans don't know what that is. That's your 13th salary of the year. There's none of that.
Wait. In America, okay. I thought in America it didn't exist.
It doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying. Americans don't know desmutaceru. It's the 13th salary.
They don't know. It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist there. Those of you in my American audience in Brazil, an employer, and Rafael can tell you this because he has his own course. They have to pay into it's like when you pay the taxes, you separate some money. You have to pay into this fund because in December, by law, the companies have to give their employees a 13th salary. Right? There's 12 months of the year, so you get a salary for every month, and then you get a 13th salary. Don't ask me why.
There is also the 14th.
What?
Yeah, as far as I know,
you're talking about people who receive the 14th. You're talking about vacation pay, right?
No. I'm talking about the 14th salary, an extra salary. There are some public servants, I think, in Florida, and they receive the 14th salary. If there is somebody in the audience who is a public servant, can confirm. But they have the 14th salary.
I will ask. I have students who are public servants, and I will ask. But
I heard
this gets to my point on the big culture difference. You see, so going back to like teaching private, it's wonderful. I'm my own boss. I make my own schedule. I do the classes I want to do. I work with it's great. but there's no guarantee. So if a student misses, I don't make money. So I have to make certain clauses with my agreements, like, if you cancel at the day of, I can't, I got to charge because I got to protect myself, But so there's no guarantee. There's none of this 13th salary. There's none of this FGTS. FGTS, guys, FGTS. It's like an insurance. It's kind of like unemployment in a way in America. Like if you get fired or if you lose your job, you get all this money that the company put into this kind of insurance. I'm not going to break it down, but so I don't have any of that going private. So those are the only, so that's the one downfall. And the other one is I have to hustle like I would in America. I have to go after the students. And this, got to go after the students, got to market myself, and do that on top of preparing classes and stuff. So it's a lot of work. So that's why I went to school. That's why I got certified, because I wanted to be legit, and it's helped me in the long run, So there's this huge difference. So talking about these public servants in America, you work hard, you get paid well, you put in the effort, you get a raise. Brazil, guys, those of you in my audience who aren't Brazilian, it's all about taking what's called a concurso.
Yeah.
What is a concurso? It's a government guaranteed job. It's like how would you call it? It's like a competition, like a test. Like
it's like a competition that you can do, and if you pass it, you will have after 2 years. Am I right? As if there's somebody else can correct me. You have kind of it's very hard for you to get fired.
It's almost impossible. You'd have to do something
impossible.
you have to do something really bad to get fired. And I personally do not agree with this system. I don't know, maybe it's the American in me, but I think the threat or the fear of losing your job, of not doing a good job, losing your job is a good motivator for some people who don't have a good enough work ethic to do a good job. Whereas these people who have these concursos, these people who have these government jobs, they don't have to worry. That's why you go to the bank, it takes forever. That's why you go to these places, it takes forever. Because what do they care? They're getting their salary. It's like, I would say the most accurate comparison I can make to America is like a union job or someone with tenure, like at a university. Because when you have tenure, it's like almost the same thing. It's almost impossible to lose your job. And the union too, the union's all about the time. You go, okay, lunch break, stop, vacation pay. It's almost like a concurso, all these holidays, vacation.
But then I want to add something. You talk about America. Now let's talk about the Italian side, European side, Italy. In Italy, it's the same. You have these
as concursos. Here or in America? It's the same as here.
No, the same as here. That's
here.
why I'm telling you, Brazil, culturally talking, it's kind of similar to Europe. It's not so different. About these things, it's kind of the same. The only problem is something that shocked me when I came here. Now let's talk when I came here. There were some cultural shocks, we can call it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I still have them after 12 years. I still have them.
One of the things that really shocked me was the public service here. Imagine a gringo. I didn't speak Portuguese on the time, and I needed to fill a lot of paperwork. I was I didn't really know where to go, what to do. And I saw people, I still remember, I was in Casa da Cidadania, in Manaíra shopping. I still remember. It was one of the first days I was in Brazil. So I was in need of some documents, and I knew that I don't remember exactly when Casa Cidadania closed. On that time was in the afternoon. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. I'm not sure. It was lots of time ago.
Dude, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's time to shut down.
Yeah, no, it was like that. I was already there. I was already there sitting, and incredibly, it was time to close. And I was there sitting, and I had been waiting for an hour and 30 minutes, something like that. And I'd been waiting there before they closed. And then the guy said, "Look, come tomorrow because we're closed." And I said, "What the hell?" I've been waiting for an hour and 30 minutes, and now you tell me to come tomorrow. Are you crazy?
Yep.
This in Italy will never happen.
Really?
You go to a public place, you will go fast. You will do your things. They know exactly what to do. Something that I perceived, I didn't speak Portuguese at the time, but was really confusing. People didn't know what to do, so they had to ask somebody else what they were supposed to do. It was kind of confusing, and try to, of course, maybe the language wasn't like helping because they didn't speak like Portuguese, but also there was nobody that spoke a decent English as well. So it was like, wow, what am I gonna do now? And it was very complex. And this is one of the biggest thing that really shocked me. Like the public service, which should be public, I mean, like good. I don't say like perfect. Even in Italy, the public service is not perfect, but at least good. It was completely hard for me to get adapted to that. And still today, as a businessman here in Brazil, it's so hard to go to a place, talk to a person who had been working there for maybe 15 years. You ask something and they don't know. It happened to me when I went to a bank. I don't know, I'm going to say the name because it's bad, but it was a bank from the state. There are two, so you choose which one.
Is
And
it the blue,
I needed to send
the blue one or the yellow one?
No, it's the yellow one.
Okay.
So I went there. I needed to send a SWIFT to my mom. It was it's a bank transfer, international bank transfer, and kind of simple. I never had a problem in other countries. So I've been in other countries. And
Kind of simple.
It's kind of, I mean, I never had a problem in any other country to send a SWIFT. So I went there and I said to the person in front of me, and I'm not going to say if this was a man or a woman, the person in front of me, and I said, look, I need to send a SWIFT to this bank account in Italy. And she was like typing on the PC, looking something. And then I discovered that she was looking the instructions because they have an instruction there with the passage to do the things. And she just, and the person just stood up, went to the manager, it came back, typed it again, just stood up again, went to the manager, came back and I said, look, what's the problem? And because I'm not the person responsible for the SWIFT. And I said, who is that? It's that guy over there. And I said, sorry, just to ask you, for how long have you been working here? 16 years. And I say, well, wow. Yeah. That was kind of hard. That was a cultural shock. I mean, like not being able to solve the problems as a gringo. That was a big problem for me.
Yeah. So check this out. Look at Marty here. Marty has a question. I don't know how helpful any of us could be with this question because I've been married most of my time here, but he wants to know, I want to know what dating is like for expats. I don't know what you mean by expats. Did you mean talking about experts?
Foreigners problems. Gringos.
Well, Marty here for you, Rafael, or if anybody in our audience wants to know, Marty has a channel and he breaks down dating apps, especially Tinder, and he kind of teaches guys how to do well on it, not to be a simp, not to be taken advantage of. So Marty, he does a lot of good work on teaching people on how to succeed, basically. So I can't answer that because I was probably single for 2 years out here, and for the first 8 months, I was doing nothing but take care of myself. After that, I played around. I went out a little bit, but the dating scene wasn't for me. And then, so I couldn't help you there, buddy. How about you? You dated for a while.
Right? Very short while. Very short while because, we have to say that if there is something that in Brazil is amazing, it's the women. Not only because they're beautiful, but also because they are very, very, very nice women. Like they're like so warm. They're like happy.
Hey, that answers this question here because I couldn't disagree with what you're saying.
Italian, Brazilian, American women, definitely Brazil, 100%. There is not even thinking twice. Brazil, always. Like what it's amazing about the Brazilian woman is the behavior. I never felt that. Though, of course, European women are beautiful. If somebody from Europe, please don't.
There are beautiful women everywhere. We can't be too, they're everywhere.
But the fact that in Europe we have like the infamous thing that Europeans are cold. In fact, from one side it is like we're talking about relationships. Now, Brazilian women are so effective. They're so warm. They're so close. If you need help, they help you. If they need to pet you, they pet you. That's why Brazilian women are amazing. Not only because they're beautiful, but also because of their behavior. And I know that the Brazilian woman, especially for family, she's amazing. Because you're married with a Brazilian woman. You have 3 kids, 4. How many kids do you have?
Two.
Well, lots of kids. So this is something like.
Well, you know what's funny? I would love to have more, but my firstborn, the way he is makes up for like 3 kids. He's so much work. He's so much work. He's got so much attitude in him, man. Okay, Marty answered that question for me. Thanks, Marty. Yeah.
But wait, there is something that I want to point out. You said like not to get. You mean like What do you mean?
I'm answering the question here. The Finn brothers never dated the same woman. Never. I would look at my brother's girlfriends as like a sister or something. I wouldn't be. It was weird. Yeah. So we never dated each other's girlfriends.
But by the way, am I not wrong? He asked, how not to be taken advantage of, right?
Who?
And not having a woman to get advantage of you. What he said, I think.
No, wait.
Am I wrong? Because I thought he asked, how you perceive that a woman is taking advantage of you here in Brazil. I heard that.
I don't think that's what.
Maybe I'm wrong.
He just wanted to know what it's like for us. What it's like for us.
I want to know what dating is like. Well, there's something. When you are an outsider, when you're not foreign, a gringo, you have some kind of advantage because we have also this kind of charm. Something that I never had in Europe. I mean, like they say, oh, just a man on the street. Like when in Brazil, they're gringo. So tell me about Europe. So they have this kind of advantage.
Yeah, that's true. And it's common. People oftentimes when they figure out I'm American, they think, why are you here? And it's like, well, it's nice here. Question. I mean, yeah, it's classic, but I think people don't realize how good a place is because the media makes every place look ideal, and there's no perfect place. Like I often say the things that are great here are usually kind of the bad things in America, and the bad things here are usually the great things in America. So
I always say that. The same. It's like McDonald's.
Yeah. I mean,
it is gourmet.
So like the lifestyle here is much more chill. I do work a lot. I've always worked a lot, but it's much more chill than it is in America. After 12 years, I'm still not used to all the holidays every month. Like every month there's 1, 2, or 3 holidays.
45 days, right?
Something
so crazy.
Like, yeah. So I'm still not used to that 10. After 12 years. Peekaboo, right? Peekaboo's expat is former Patriots. I mean, I am not an expatriate. I may be living abroad, but I'm still American through to the core. I'm still a Roman citizen, I guess you can say, right?
I have to tell you something. You will never leave your country behind. I really want to go back in Italy. Never.
Yeah, I've been working on going back. No, I already answered that question. I've been working on going back for a lot of my own students don't know this because I keep it quiet. So if they see this now, they're probably going to know. But I've been working on going back for a while. If coronavirus didn't happen, I would have been back already.
Same.
Because I have an opportunity to go back. I have 2 kids. I'm not saying I will never come back to Brazil. Like I've built a life here, and what you said, there's a lot of truth behind it. I have been very successful out here. I have been very, very successful. I've been very blessed. I've got a good reputation here as an English teacher. I'm pretty, I can say, quote unquote, kind of well known in the city. It's very like anywhere I go.
But you are, man. You are.
Kind of. Thanks. Almost anywhere I go, I'm always running into somebody, or I can't say I know, but someone knows me. Hey, teacher. Hey. And I'm like, hey, what's up?
There is a funny story about that once. I'm going to tell you then if there is time.
Okay. Yeah. We have time. There's no time limit. I remember when I was dating my wife now, she got jealous. Like I remember when we were going to the beach, because the beaches here are amazing. They're beautiful. The sun comes up 5:30 a.m., 6, rises up out of the Atlantic. The sand's golden, the coconut trees are blowing in the wind. It's just beautiful. And we'd be walking at the beach at nighttime. It's really common here. Like one of the things, you just hang out at the beach, at the sidewalk, walking up and down the beach, drink a coconut, hang out. And we would do that, my wife and I, when we were dating. And like, seriously, 5 or 6 times a night, someone would stop me. It'd be a lady or someone. Hi, teacher. Hi. And I remember she used to get kind of jealous. I'm like, what's the problem? Hey, so many people. I'm like, I'm a teacher. Like, what do you expect? Like, you know how many people have walked in and out of my classroom and stuff? And so you develop a reputation. So I plan on going back. I want to do that more for my kids and my family. I want to be with my brothers, and I want my kids to have their cousins around. You know what I mean? I want to go camping. I want to give my children this kind of American culture that you don't get here. But I'm not opposed to coming back, having a house out here, coming back here, like I don't ever plan on retiring. I could teach until I stop talking. I plan on teaching.
until you become like me, like all your hair is gonna start falling from your head.
No. My hair's white. My hair is white. I'm not gonna lose it.
But there is a truth about that. Like that's why Brazilians have to understand that, abroad is nice, but like I just mentioned, like for me, it's Italy. You will never put your country on your back and just like say, okay, it's over. You will always go back home. That is something that I've always been saying to everybody. You will always go back home. Always. Doesn't matter. Sooner or later.
They're around. Look, I want to answer nut shots here. They're around. They're around. You go to the beach, lots of young, innocent. You would take advantage of plenty of them, and I wouldn't condone it, but they're around.
This is very, very simple question, man. Just came here in Brazil and walk and be a good person, and you will have
The funny thing is, this happens naturally because, like, I even think the guys here, they don't value their women as much.
No, that's something I always said.
And yeah, anyways, let's say Mr. Superman, Mr. Finn is Superman, and Teacher Raphael is Super Mario.
Super Mario had hair, and he could jump.
You can't jump, huh? White man can't jump.
Well, not like Super Mario.
Let's see what Peekaboo says. I think these guys are very, very right. There's culture differences, and that is the major thing. That's a fun adventure. It is an adventure, and sometimes these culture differences are peculiar. Like, I'll give you an example. Brazilians, and I want to be delicate because I do love Brazil and I do love Brazilians, but they're kind of, and I'm speaking more of the Northeast where Rafa and I live. They're kind of rude people. Like, they cut you off when you're speaking, or they cut you off in line, or if you're talking to a cashier, they cut you off. They stare. You walking down the street, they stare at you. They ask you questions. They ask you personal questions. There's like no barrier. So they're rude drivers. And I'm not trying to bash them. They're great people, but this is kind of a quirk about the people here. But when it comes to eating, they're like super polite. They do not touch their right. He's laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. They do not touch their food with their hands. They will eat a sandwich and they'll pick up a sandwich with 2 fingers, wrap it in a napkin, and then eat it. Right?
Don't tell me, because I've seen things with pizza that I am still upset about it.
They eat pizza. They eat pizza with a fork and knife, ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise, and you're
committing a crime.
I agree. They eat drumstick, chicken legs, and chicken wings with a fork and knife. They eat spare ribs or baby back ribs with a fork and knife. It's like, pick that food up, man. Like, my poor wife, I embarrass her all the time because you know me, Rafael, and I think most people, if people who know me in the audience know, like, I am who I am. It doesn't matter where I am, in the classroom, with my friends. I'm comfortable with who I am. I don't try to change who I am for anybody around me, but I don't purposefully try to embarrass somebody. But my poor wife, because I'm an American and I act like an American here. And for example, we love to eat baby back ribs, right? Costelinhas. We love them. We go to a restaurant. It's delicious. She'll eat it with a fork and knife. And here I am ripping at the bones, tearing the flesh off the bones. And I'll even eat the bones, chew on them, suck the marrow out because it's so delicious. Eat pizza with my hands, eat hamburgers with my hands. And she's embarrassed, poor thing. She'll often tell me, I think I mentioned this in one of my other lives talking about having confidence. We'll go to a place. Most recently, about a month ago, we were at a beach place in Bessa, and we were eating crabs. And I'm ripping the crabs and sucking the meat out and this and that. My wife,
complex things. Crabs, so complex.
Yeah, people want to look like the crabs here. I have a crab ashtray. This is what the crabs look like here. They're little like this.
Guys, if you're not in Brazil, this is something that in Europe is super expensive. It's for rich people only. And in Brazil, we have it for free.
Actually, it's more expensive than it used to be. It's like 3-5 reais. It used to be like 1.
That's you're doing everything wrong. You just have to go to the beach and pick it up by yourself. Super easy.
But then you got to do the work and cook it. Anyways, though, we were at this beach. We were at this bar restaurant at the beach, and I'm eating the crab. I'm digging into it, sucking it, eating the meat out. And my wife is like, oh my gosh, my love, people are staring at us. I said, so what? Let them stare. It's like, too bad I don't pay my bill with their opinion. You know, I don't care. But that's another thing too. That's a big difference. Cultural difference. I don't know. Maybe not so much. In America, they do this a lot too, but a lot of gossiping, a lot of looking at other people's lives and gossiping. That's a big thing here. Buying something to show off rather than just for yourself. That's another big thing here.
This is something that we do in Italy as well.
Yeah.
Gossiping.
I think that's almost everywhere. I kind of wanted to retract that. But you buy nice things here, not necessarily for yourself, but you want to show off. That's a big thing here.
That's a big thing here, and this is something that I do not understand. Maybe I think it's cultural, of course. I mean, like, there's nothing. But in Italy, for example, it used to be in Italy the same before 28. After 28, everything has changed because in 28 we have like 2008, we had like a huge crisis. So people started to become really humble, and we started not to care if we had a beautiful car or a expensive car or beautiful clothes or not. That was after the crisis. Before the crisis, like Italy was like that, but after the crisis, man, it was terrible.
Do you want to answer that question? Because that's an easy answer for me.
Outside the US, it's manscaping accepted. Wait a second.
Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Is manscaping what I think it is?
It comes from landscaping and man. Do you know what landscaping is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand landscaping.
Okay, so manscaping, you're doing that with yourself.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's not accepted, Marty. It's a must.
Yeah.
Most Brazilians, at least the ones that I've run into, they don't like hair.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was about to ask. Now,
they don't like hair.
This is one of the things that I love about Brazil. Like everybody waxes or everybody shaves. I used to do this back in Italy, by the way.
I wouldn't say, okay. The women wax, men either shave or trim. Because I don't shave my chest. I don't shave. I trim.
Okay, I shave my chest with a razor. I shave my chest with a razor.
I don't. I trim.
Actually, remember, in Italy, this is something that Italians are similar to Brazilians. In Italy, people shave and wax. Men,
even the men.
Even the men, and I was one of them. I used to wax on my body. My friend Joanna, I'm not kidding. This is the same in Italy. It's the same in Brazil. People in Italy, it's super hard to find a man with hair on the body.
Wow.
So it's a must. Here in Brazil, if you have a girl, and you come in Brazil, and you have hair in your body, the girl will say, shave and then come back.
Yeah,
I'm not joking.
Shaving. I shave my face. But like my arms, maybe because I have tattoos on my arms too. I do shave where my tattoos are, but the rest of it, I trim it. So it's not like a big bush of hair and then empty for the tattoos. So I trim it. My chest.
Use a machine.
Nah, I do. I use a machine, but I don't go 0. I go like a number 2.
I go 0. I hate hairs. I hate hairs. I hate beard. I just don't hate my hair, and it's the only thing that is falling down from my body.
You know what's funny? I kind of miss my long beard. I had a long beard, but I got rid of it. And I mean, I don't regret getting. I mean, I miss it, but I don't regret getting rid of it at the same time because I think it does help my profile as a teacher without the long beard. And it did take off like 10 years when I removed the beard. So yes, to answer your question, Marty, it's not only accepted, it's like a must. It's like
no longer hair.
Yeah. It's a must, right? Who else do we any more questions here? What does Gustavo say? I'd like to know about the experience to learn Portuguese. Well,
that's good.
Yeah, I would let Rafael answer for himself. I think he may have had an easier time than myself because Latin, Italian, and Portuguese are both Latin languages, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was easy, but it depends on the part. Like learning a different language is always a hard job. Now, my school, I always have fun. My Portuguese school, actually. I'm gonna tell a funny story very fast. When I came in Brazil, I was so ignorant that I thought that Brazilians spoke the same as Portuguese from Portugal. So I thought like, okay, the Portugal is okay. It's like British English, American English. What's the problem? I mean, like, let's learn from Portugal. So I started to learn lots of words from Portuguese, from the Portuguese from Portugal. Let's say like the original one. So as Mr. Finn knows, there are many words, especially one that is used for girls, that here in Brazil is extremely offensive.
Rapaz. In Portuguese, it's
Yeah.
Hapariga.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in Portuguese, Hapariga means young girl. Young girl.
Yeah.
And I made the same mistake because my family comes from Portuguese, right? The Azores. So I made the same mistake. So the Portuguese that I grew up knowing, Hapariga, is something simple. It's a young girl.
Yeah,
In Brazil, if you call a girl a Hapariga, you're calling her a whore.
I think at least in Nordeste, right? I think in the South is different.
I can't speak for the South because I've only visited a few times.
I'm gonna ask. By the way, to make a long story short, like in Italy, girl is ragazza. So when you are at the restaurant, you used to do this, like, hey, ragazza, qua. Hey, ragazzetta, me qua. So I just translated, and I said, ragazza, girl, Portuguese, rapariga. And in the restaurant, hey, rapariga, ven pra cá, rapariga. Everybody in the restaurant just stared at me, like. And the girl was like with these big eyes looking at me and said, rapariga. And I said, what? So the girl just came next to me and he said, no, rapariga, it's feo. And I said, no? How is girl? Girl. And I said, moça garçonete. And I said, what is rapariga? And she said, puta. Okay, sorry. It's and then people understood.
Now insert foot in mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to disappear. By the way, learning a language, it's something that you can do, but the best way to learn a language is to keep in contact with somebody. And my school of Portuguese was in front of Meg Shopping. Every day, I used to stay with two police officers, Sérgio Guimarães. They used to stay there every day from 7 o'clock to 7 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. The guy who was selling, famous coxinhas here, like pastries, The guy who was selling DVDs on the streets.
Hold on. For my American audience, coxinhas is like a pastry, a roundy kind of pastry. It looks like this. Looks like a teardrop filled with shredded chicken.
So that's it. It's delicious, by the way. So what I just did is stay there and talk and listen a lot. The best way to learn a language like Portuguese is to listen, understand what they say, and then you copy and paste. That's the secret. And it was kind of hard for me at the beginning because like the numbers, especially the meia. What's the number of the bus I have to take to go there? Slow numbers. What it was very complex. But in about a year, I could have passed a public contest. So
yeah, for me, it's very similar to Rafael, and I apply the same techniques to how I teach. And even in if you guys check out my YouTube channel on the homepage, there's a little trailer. I have like a 30-second video, kind of giving my 3 tips. These tips is how I learned Portuguese. Contact. What is it? What I say? First, you got to want to learn the language. Then you got to have that contact language, and then you got to try. If you don't have that contact, or if you don't have the desire, you're not going to learn it. If you don't have that contact, you're just not going to get it. And if you're too shy to use it, you're not going to learn it. So I learned first. I always wanted to learn Portuguese. Like I said, my mother's family's from Portugal, the Azores. So I always had this desire. God only knew I was going to come to Brazil one day. I spent a lot of time in front of the television when I was here. So I used the soap operas. I used the cartoons. When I first came here, there was a program in the morning called TV Globinho. That's like the kids' cartoons in the morning. So I used a lot of TV. Mais Você, which is like a morning talk show. So I used a lot of TV and the soap operas. The soap operas helped me the most because they're very, soap operas, they exaggerate. Everything's exaggerated, dramatic. So because I had experience in my life of moving so much and first interacting with people based on body language, that's how I first started understanding context with body language, and then trying to identify, paying attention to the same kind of phrases being used in certain circumstances, and then trying to find opportunities to practice. Like my ex-wife, she didn't help me at all. She's a class act.
The same with my wife. I just
Didn't
learned
help.
with like two police officers, you know,
Yeah,
on
I
the
learned that
street.
with people. I would go out and I'd pay attention to people, and I would try to get what they were saying, and then I would just try to figure out the context, and I would try to use what I knew. I don't know how many times people laughed at me, and I was like, whatever. I thought to myself, keep laughing. I'm learning. You're gonna be a loser for no, I'm just kidding, but
Yeah.
you're gonna stay where you
Oh,
are. But you know what I mean? That's like the attitude I have. You can laugh all you want. I'm working towards something, and I'm not shy, and I'm gonna keep going. And guess what? Now I'm fluent. I make mistakes, but I can call the bank. I can solve problems. I go out and buy things, do this, that, solve problems. I've had interactions on the street. I got into an argument with some SJW, that's social justice warrior, about a couple weeks ago, giving me a hard time for not wearing a mask outside. I said, "You wear your mask. Leave me alone." Yeah, it was a big debate. Did it in Portuguese. So the experience is trial and error. Both Hafa and I did it without a course. We're teachers, so I don't want to like knock my profession, but you really don't need it. But having a teacher helps. It facilitates. It makes it easier and quicker. But nowadays with technology and the internet, having that contact, having that immersion experience is crucial. But the problem is, and what Rafael both offer for the English learners is that opportunity to practice, because you could immerse, you could absorb all you want to your heart's desire. But if you don't have opportunities to use it, then you're kind of, there's only so far you can go, you know? So that's the kind of things that Rafael do. So good. Look, what's funny about the manscaping, there's lots of comments that
that was
came
fun.
in. Yeah, that was fun. But there's funny comments here, right? Like Ati, he's my wife's cousin living in Italy. Totally normal.
I told you it's normal.
He's totally normal. But look at my friend Marty. Nut shots here. Look what he says. Really funny. What? The men are hairless, and why are the women like it's so hair? Is that true?
That I have to be sincere.
Serious? So the men are peacocks, all pretty and hairless, and the women.
I do not know personally. I have to be sincere. I was not a Casanova, so I do not know really well how so many girls like without that. But I saw under the dresses that Italian women don't shave so much as I would say, not as much as Brazilian.
Here's a friend of mine too in Brazil. He says you got to shave. No, I mean, yeah, I don't shave. I shave my face. I don't feel comfortable shaving my body. I shave my face. I shave my balls. I mean, it's not the program to kind of talk about that, but the rest of my body, I use a clippers. I go to at least a number 2, So I'm not hairy, but I'm not hairless. I would feel personally, I don't know if it's the American in me or the way I was raised. I'm kind of, people know me. I'm kind of like a Neanderthal in a way. I'm very caveman-like. I would feel weird being hairless. So I trim it. I don't shave it, right? What does Allison say here? I want to work abroad, specifically in Boston. And Teacher Raphael has helped me about it with classes. I've studied with him since last year. Yeah, very good. Raphael's a great teacher. That's one of the reasons why I chose him to be my first guest here. Rafael and I were friends in our own private lives personally. He's the kind of friend that I don't get to see often because he's busy. I'm busy.
That's probably like, when you have like an English teacher, something that you didn't mention, you work a lot.
A lot.
Backstage, you work a lot.
And imagine being an inspiring YouTuber too, and a family with 2 kids. Dude, I'm like, my plate is full.
But I have to say something about working a lot, especially Allison, because I know him, and he has improved a lot, and he is a great student. Those who learn, I have to be sincere. I've chosen my career because, like, normally when a person studies English, it's a person who also does a lot in life. And I see my students who are people from universities, they are professionals like lawyers, doctors. They work and study a lot. This is something that I really appreciate about Brazilians.
They do.
They say that Brazilians are lazy. I say this is just common tone because, like, all the students I have, they're hardworking. I know their lives. They wake up in the morning, take a bus, they go to work, they come back, they go to university, and they have English class. I will not do that, really. Not maybe in the past, but now I will not do that. And they're really, really hard workers.
You know what's funny
problem?
Tell me.
No, sorry, I interrupted you. The only problem is like when we talk about service. That's another story.
Horrible. Horrible. The only
Plumbers,
place
we need plumbers. Plumbers come
all
here.
over the place. All over the place. Service is bad. No one shows up on time. You go to a restaurant, they take forever to serve you. They don't come and check on you at the table. It's like the way I look at it, it's like they look at you like you're doing them a service, and that really irritates me because, like, excuse me, I'm spending my hard-earned money here. The only place that I found really good service here is Sai Brasa, which is now Brazing Boy, the barbecue place. Great service.
I cannot make commentaries because my line of supporting the service is very thin. I'm Italian, so when you talk about food, service, and restaurants, I have no pity.
Lucas has a message for you here. All
right. Yes, Lucas, this is going to happen. Unfortunately, when you arrive at your 30s, the hair starts to fall down.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Look at that. I'm gonna be 43 next month. I still got a full head of hair.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. So why you are? I'm 32. You're 43. Why don't you give me your hair?
Sorry. You're the one that
I'm
wants
gonna
to
make implants, by the way.
Whoa, wait. You're the one that wants to be hairless, not me. So
no,
why don't you just take the Bic?
No, I said the only hair I care. No, you misunderstood me. The only hair I care is on the hair and it's falling down. The rest they can fall.
Oh man. So why don't you just transplant those follicles from your body and just put it on your head?
I was thinking to do that, by the way.
Yeah, might as well. I have an uncle that did that, right? Let's see. What does this person say? Hapariga Nordeste is called Kanga. Yeah, that's profanity. That's saying bad words in English. The B word, the horror.
Let's say like a woman who does a very specific job.
Yeah. You know what's funny? In the south of Brazil, they do have a different term for girl that they don't use in the north. And my wife hates it when they call her that. We went down to the south for our honeymoon. We went to Gramado, amazing city, beautiful place. Didn't feel like Brazil at all. But in the south, they call young ladies or women guria.
I didn't know that.
Guria.
Never heard of.
My wife, I think I may be pronouncing it wrong. Someone in our chat can maybe correct me, but I believe it's Guria. She hates that. But the funny thing is, my wife, she looks super young for her age.
Yep.
She popped out 2 kids. She is a fox still. She's super hot. Looks totally probably 5, maybe 10. But definitely 5 years younger than what.
You can put more because she's listening to you. So it was 15.
Maybe, I don't know. She could be listening. She couldn't be listening. I wouldn't change what I'm saying, even if you were.
Miss Fran?
Nah, it's okay. But seriously though, she looks a lot younger. I think I look younger than my age too, but I'm still older than she is. She does not like it. She does not being called that. She feels like they're calling her. They're calling her too.
But I'm telling you, then something about this north and south. It's crazy for cultural differences. In Italy, again, as I say, Italy is very similar to Brazil because of this.
I did it correct.
Nice.
Good.
So, north and south in Italy is the same. Like it's opposite, and they don't talk to each other, and they have different languages and different expressions.
Where are you from? Are you from the north or are you from the south?
No, I'm the center. I'm Umbro.
So you're the divide. You're right there. So do you lean more towards the northern style of Italian culture or southern style of Italian culture?
I think we take the better of the both.
Okay, cool. That's a good answer.
We are excellent people. We have excellent food. We have excellent landscape. So
Allison
we
here,
have better of the both.
He says in Italy, the girls are starting to shave. He lives in finally.
They could have done it like maybe 10 years ago, please.
That's too funny. That's so funny.
They could have done it 10 years ago.
You know what's interesting? Talking about shaving, there is a difference between the way the Brazilian women shave their legs and the American women.
No, please don't talk about that. That is weird.
No, but hold on. I think this is interesting. It's on this topic, and we're talking about these cultural differences.
Yeah, that's true.
I have noticed, and I'm just speaking from my experience. Maybe someone in our chat can correct me, but I have noticed that the Brazilian women, when they shave their legs, it's only from the knee to the ankle. They don't. Am I right? They don't shave.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't shave their thigh, right? But their intimate areas, it's like clean, like.
Yeah,
nothing, or the little strip, it's clean. But their legs, from the hip to the knee, they don't touch with the razor. And from the knee to the ankle, they touch with the razor. Whereas in America, from what I understand, they shave the whole leg, everything from the hip.
But not the.
No, they trim it. It's not very common. It's not very common to get a full bush anymore. I don't think. I don't know. I haven't. I'm trying to be
forget one thing.
delicate. in my
No, you are
language, but-
delicate. This is cultural things, but you forget one thing. Brazilian men do the same. They trim the arms, the body, and the legs. They are forgotten.
I don't do the legs. I don't even trim it.
They're telling you. It's exactly the same.
But look, I only trim my arms because I got tattoos. So
Yeah.
I got tattoos on my arms. So I don't shave it. There's hair there, but I just want it would look weird if I shave where the tattoos are, but I leave this rest like a giant bush. You know what I mean? So I try to, maybe it's the artist in me. I'm about symmetry and balance. So I'm very careful about that, but I can't shave it completely. I would be.
But it's
weird.
fun because, like, you see, the women like just shave like from the knee down. The men shave from like the arms until the hips, and then bye bye.
Then
They
bye-bye.
don't do anything else.
Yeah, Evis is reaffirming what I said. This guria is only used in the South. The people who, if it's used up here, you could identify where someone is. And you know what's interesting too? Brazil is a lot like, and you can tell me about Italy, but in America, you can pretty confidently identify where somebody's from by the dialect they use or the accent of their English. You could easily identify if someone's from the South, from the deep South, because you have a couple of different accents from the South. And then you have the deep South, like Louisiana and Alabama and stuff. You could identify someone from the East Coast, right? New York, Boston, they have a different accent. The North, they're in Montana and the Dakotas, they speak a little differently. And the West Coast, where I'm from, and the Southwest, different mannerisms, dialects, and pronunciations in when they speak. Same thing in Brazil. The same thing in Brazil. You can identify almost always where somebody's from by the way they speak.
And same thing in Italy. In Italy, people in the other side, like 10 kilometers from here, they have a different accent. In Italy, we have 56 accents.
That's crazy. Yeah, so Deborah, guria is for the girl, guri is for the guy. And if I'm not mistaken, Evis and Deborah, you guys can correct me. It's for younger people, right? Like, I don't think anybody would call me guri. I don't know. Maybe because I look young, but I don't think so. You can correct me. I know it's
they
for
will
younger.
Call me because I'm young.
I'm pretty young too, man. Yeah, positive vibes. How you doing, Manuel? Good to see you, buddy. He used to be in my conversation class CCA. What does João Baptista say? Read that, Rafael. It's for you.
I missed the classes with old friend Rafa, especially. Oh, João, yes. Do you remember Beer's game? Yes, I do remember the beer game. I cannot mention it here, but yes, I do remember that.
Did you guys play like beer? Did you guys play beer pong and stuff and different drinking games?
You don't want to know what means that.
All right.
Maybe next time when we have a coffee together, but soon I will be there in the South, man.
Peekaboo. That was not the emphasis nor the direction I'm going with the channel. I'm just trying to please the audience and the questions that are being brought. And I'm trying my best to keep this G to PG rating, right? And I'm trying to be careful with my yes. Okay. So yes, being careful always. What does Ati say? Rafaeli, that's you.
Yeah, I'm from a little town in Italy called Amelia, 80 clicks from Rome, in the center, next to Perugia, 100 kilometers from Perugia. It's kind of the most famous city over there. I'm in what people say in Italy, I am in the green heart of Italy, because like everything is green there. I'm telling you, it's an amazing place.
Dude, you have no idea. Like, I'm in a WhatsApp group that's international. I got in the WhatsApp group, you got people in Russia, Italy, Turkey, Iran, all over the place. And I kid you not, one of my dreams, I want to go to Italy. I just want to go to Italy. I want to experience that culture. I just want to sit there. I want to eat a delicious pizza, margarita, fresh basil. I want to drink some wine. I want to eat that mozzarella salad, mozzarella with the tomato and the basil. and I want to sit there and drink some nice wine. I want to smoke my pipe or a cigar and just chill and drink my wine. I smoke my cigar, last for like 2 hours. And when the cigar's over, eat another plate of delicious food, look at the beautiful landscape, green hills. One day, man, one day.
You will.
If the
Man,
world, if the world doesn't come to an end, and if communism doesn't destroy every government and control what we do, and if I don't have to get a jab visa, because I'm not planning to get no jab.
I think the most important thing is the COVID to end, because if the COVID doesn't stop,
that's what I'm saying.
We will not go there.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't want to be forced to get the jab to go anywhere. I don't want that.
Well, by the way, going back to Italy, if any of you wants to go there, do not think that Rome is Italy. Rome, yes, it's a beautiful city, but there are so many different places that are cheaper and as beautiful as Rome. Rome is unique, of course, but for example, Umbria, Toscana, which are very famous, there are small cities. For example, my town was founded like 700 years before Rome, so it's older than Rome.
Wow.
So, there are many beautiful places that are cheaper and they're as beautiful as Rome, even more. I still remember a place called Monteriggioni, and it's in Toscana, in Tuscany, and the place is amazing. Like it seems like a real castle. Or Bevagna, which is another city, historical city, or the things that come up my mind. Riccione, it's like a famous place where like the sea is beautiful and it's a lot of nightlife. Or another good part is like Padova, like in north of Italy. It's beautiful. It's close to Venice, but you don't have to go to Venice. You go there one day and then you go to Padova, or you go to the north in the mountains. This is something that there are lots of activities in Italy. That is something that I see that is different from here in Brazil, and that I have to point out. Something that Brazilians do, they always go to pub, restaurants, shopping. In Italy, people do something different. You kept cool. There is no shopping, by the way. It's very hard to find shopping. Those are the huge cities. But people like go to the mountain, set a table, like 10, 15 people, and prepare barbecue over there.
Yeah.
Drinking wine.
Drink wine. That's what I'm talking about. That lifestyle just totally attracts me. It's like, it's the way I just want to, like, if I don't ever plan on retiring. And that's one of the things that I do like about the Brazilian culture. Like, people here do know how to chill. Like, I don't do the shopping and stuff either, but I do like to hang out with friends. I love to have barbecues in my house. Now I live in a house. I have barbecues in my backyard, or there are certain bars here I like to go to, like not bars, but here in Brazil, we call them botecos. They're like, it's like a bar. You eat outside and you eat, delicious finger food and drink beer and talk. And
you did not call me yet, by the way.
Sorry, I haven't gone, bro, in a while. I haven't gone. Hey, if you're not afraid of COVID, man, maybe in another week or two, you could come over to my house. We'll have a barbecue here. You bring your wife, have a barbecue here.
I had COVID. Just put a mask, take my precautions, like should be done.
You don't need a mask here. My house is. You want to see my special mask? It's a very mini mask. This is my mask.
Oh, God.
That's my mask.
Well, I really. That was a fun mask. Well, that was fun. Well, that's organized, by the way.
Anyways, but I do love that. I love to just hang out with friends, eat snacks, drink cold beer, talk, smoke a cigar or something, just chill. Last time you and I hung out was like 2 months ago, right? We had coffee and a cigar.
Yeah, was here in this coffee. It was a nice cigar, by the way.
Yeah, yours wasn't. I've had that cigar. Next
time, no problem.
Next time I'll hook you up. I have a box coming in the mail.
Live smoking cigars. It would be nice.
Yeah, I got a couple here. I bought a couple here. I restocked a few. I spent a little. I got a Cohiba.
That's what I want to ask you. Is it common in USA to smoke cigars?
Yeah.
Like smoking in USA, if it is common. That's what I question.
This one's a pretty good one. It wasn't very expensive. Pinzon, I think it's called. Yeah, Pinzon. That's a nice one. I like that one. And I really like this brand here. This is the same brand that I smoked when I hung out with you, but it's a different style. It's called a Gordito. It's a little short and fatty. Nice. It's very fat, but it's late in Elvis. I really like this brand. This is a Brazilian one. It comes from Bahia. Yeah, it's very common in America. You have smoke shops and stuff. It's very common in America. Cigars, pipes, people. The unfortunate thing about America, there's a war on tobacco. Tobacco's bad. but marijuana is becoming legal everywhere, which doesn't make. I don't understand. Like a cigar and a pipe, you don't inhale this. This is like it's leisure. You taste it and you hang out, and it's like I don't know. It's great, but it's common.
Yeah,
It's
it is
much
what
more
it
common.
is.
It's much more common in America than it is here in Brazil. It's very difficult to find cigars here. I had to hunt them down.
Ooh.
I found these.
And thinking that we are,
Found these.
yeah, I don't. And sorry to interrupt, but thinking that in Brazil is like a country rich of tobacco, coffee, these kind of things, you know.
Oh, Deborah says we have the best pizzas. Yes, Deborah, are you Brazilian or Italian?
Are you Brazilian? Because like, if you are Brazilian, yes, you.
I would disagree. Yeah, I would disagree. Yeah,
you have good pizza though sometimes.
No, they do.
There is good pizza.
My issue with Brazilian pizza. I have two issues with Brazilian pizzas. It's almost always undercooked. I like a pizza that's crispy on the bottom and fluffy on top. So it's almost always undercooked. You grab a slice of pizza and it just drops, and it's not supposed to really be like that. You kind of fold it and hold it, and you guys go overboard on the toppings, just overboard. You guys put so many kinds of toppings on pizzas. Rafael, he can tell you more. He's the Italian, but I like a nice, simple, rich, flavored pizza like margarita.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing against Brazilian pizza. Yesterday, by the way, and if you want to, I think I know who is Deborah. If you want to enter in contact with me, I can show you like a very nice pizzeria here. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice pizza. Of course, not as good as Italy. Why? It's like if you make a feijoada in Italy, you will never do it as good as here.
I was waiting for this comment right here. Don't mean to cut you off, but I was waiting for this comment.
Yeah, it's like the same. I was waiting for this comment. But something that I would like to see in Brazil, it's finally a hero will rise from the ashes and will be the president of Brazil and prohibit people to eat pizza with the silverwares.
It's not going to happen.
Make a law. You cannot do that.
It's not going to happen.
A hero will rise from the ashes.
Brazilians
and also,
they don't like to touch their food.
No, there is something else. Please stop making big pizza, medium pizza, small pizza. What the hell is that? Please. Pizza is pizza. It's just one size. It's like this. What is like? We want a small pizza, medium pizza. Are you kidding me? Like pizza is pizza. Give me a pizza. It's like this size. I mean, like the difference between a small pizza, medium pizza, big pizza, but the price and the material used for do it, it's ridiculous. Like make a big pizza.
Yeah. I do want to try New York pizza, but I'm not the biggest fan of just cheese pizza. I like cheese pizza. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, my favorite is margarita. I love it because you have three simple toppings: cheese, tomatoes, and fresh basil, maybe some garlic, and all of it. But just I love it. I love it. It's simple, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's just simple ingredients and rich flavors. Just rich flavors. Oh my god, my mouth is watering right now. So good.
Just for a little detail. Who was the architect who invented to put sliced tomato in the margarita? Who was the genius? I really would love to know because that makes no sense. Why you put sliced tomatoes on a pizza with tomato sauce? That makes no sense.
But it's different. Tomato sauce and the sliced tomato is different. But
you kill the taste. See, American Italian differences. That's American and that's Italian. Like you do not use tomato sauce and tomatoes sliced there. You will broke and margarita. Basil.
I love it.
Tomato sauce. Mozzarella and not like a kilogram of mozzarella, just a little.
No slices of tomato.
Who did that should be arrested.
Oh man,
for crimes against humanity.
Come on, it reminds me of like that mozzarella salad, tomato, mozzarella, and basil and olive oil.
That is caprese. It's a different thing. Caprese is different. There's another dish. You don't do it with the pizza.
It's so good.
I mean, you can do it with the pizza.
I gotta argue. I want to argue with Julio here, Julio Caesar. He says, and we have to agree with each other. Brazilian barbecue is the best in the world. Well,
I do agree.
I want to, but I have had legit American barbecue, guys. Media is a lie. It's not hamburgers and hot dogs. American barbecue kicks ass. Tri-tip, ribeye, smoked meats. Americans do know how to make good barbecue. And there's differences with Texan barbecue and like the Carolinian barbecue. You have some differences there. So, I mean, It's amazing. Brazilian barbecue is amazing. You put meat, some coarse salt, throw it on a fire. It's fabulous. But if you do try
You have
some
to
legit,
season it.
no, yeah, they coarse salt. You season it with coarse salt. That's how they season it. That's what they do, and it's
I'm
good.
telling you.
Let me ask you something, Rafael. Let me ask you something. Talking about Brazilian barbecue, what's your favorite cut of meat? Because the cuts of meat in America are different than the cuts of meat in Brazil. The only cut that I recognize as the same is what is it? Filet mignon. That's the only cut that's the same. Everything else is a different kind of cut.
First of all, you have to find a place who knows how to cut the meat, because you cannot go anywhere. There are some specific places here, at least here in João Pessoa, that you can go and say, okay, they will give me that in that way, because most of the people don't know how to cut the meat. So you have to go to a person like knows what he's doing, like an English teacher. So the second thing is that my favorite cut is what is called picanha. Why?
Yeah, delicious. The fat.
Because yes, that fat. If you do the picanha right, where you grill it, that fat with not only salt and black pepper, that is kind of no, but with the right flavors, yeah, it's gonna be delicious.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Picanha is one of my favorites too, but value, like cost value, my favorite is fraldinha, because like picanha, the fat is involved, but the fat, like picanha, people don't know picanha. It's a piece of meat, red meat with no veins, no fat in the meat, and you got this layer of fat on top. And the way you cut the picanha, you keep the fat on it and you eat it together. It's not like a gelatin kind of fat. It's a kind of a thick fat. It's like the meat itself. It's really good. But fraldinha is almost half the price as picanha. And when I cook fraldinha on the barbecuer, I don't slice it up. I buy the whole, whatever, the kilo, and I get the piece. I season it and I put the whole thing on the grill and I let it cook whole. And then I slice it up when it's done. And it's so succulent and juicy and delicious. It's so good. So, Julio, yes, Brazilian barbecue is phenomenal, but there's different styles. American does really good barbecue. I don't know about Italy, but
you enter in a very deep. Well, first of all, we don't do barbecues like Brazil, like take a lot of meat and you meat. When we do barbecues, thank you. We use a lot of different things, so not like in Brazil. Sorry.
Gotcha.
So, and in Italy, mostly we have something called braciola, which is like pork. We eat a lot of pork. It's super hard, at least in my area, to grill red meat. We can have a stick, yes, you buy it, because we have the fireplace, and during the winter that people like burn it, but it's not like Brazilian barbecue that buy kilograms of meat, salt, beer, cana. No, it's not like that. But we have to say something. Like in Italy, we give a lot of attention to the meat. So normally, at least in my area, which is Umbria, we prepare the meat a day before, and we put anything possible: salt, garlic, parsley, rosemary, carrots. We prepare the meat as if it was like like a baby.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
That's what we
like
do.
if I'm gonna have a barbecue, I prepare the day before. I prepare the meat. I get it all ready. So when it comes to the day of the barbecue, I just cook, drink beer, eat meat.
Yeah. One of the things that I got shocked here is that the food, especially in the eat as you can. I don't know how to call it, like balance. So you put
all you can eat, right?
Yeah, it's all you can eat, but I wasn't sure. So they don't put flavors on the food. The food is there, no flavors, most of the time no salt. You put it by yourself and you mix.
No seasoning. No,
they don't season the food, and like I don't feel the taste of. Okay, food can be good, but if you don't season it, and this is something common here. They don't season it. That's why I told you, like, just salt on the meat is not like.
It's funny. I'm a huge hot sauce fan, right? This here is like my favorite hot sauce, chipotle. I eat it with almost everything. And Brazilians are not accustomed to eating spicy food. Maybe because I come from LA and there's a big Hispanic influence. I love spicy food. And this here, it's full of flavor. It's not so hot, but it's full of flavor. Eva's here. Eva's made a comment about Italian pizzas are the best, but they're totally different to our Brazilian version. So I've tried both and I love them. Yeah, I know Eva's. He's traveled to Europe and stuff. Ati here, he is Brazilian. He's been living, I think, more of his life in Italy now. He's a pizzaiolo. He actually taught me how to make my
Allison,
yeah.
Oh.
He actually taught me how to make my own pizza dough. Him and I, when he was here last time, we had a pizza cook-off. So him and I were having a competition, and we were making pizzas, and our guests were the judge. And sorry, Allison, the student outdid the master. I remember that. I remember that day. Yeah, dude, nutshots. He says, if I go to New York, oh no slices on pizza, on tomatoes. Are you savages? Right?
If you do that in Italy, you will be arrested. At least you will be kicked out from the pizzeria, from the pizzaiolo.
That's
and
great.
The pizzaiolo there can confirm. I work in a pizzeria and I don't know what they do. Like I saw the pizzaiolo literally going out from the kitchen and screaming at a couple of Americans there because they asked for ketchup. I still remember that.
No, that's horrible. Well, who would put? I don't understand why people put ketchup on a pizza. It's like people put like steak sauce on a steak. Like for me, the only reason why you would put, I think I saw a comment here too about that. I think the only people who put sauce on a steak is if the steak is too dry. Like, but if a steak,
you don't need the sauce. You just need to put the fat of the sauce of it.
That's what I'm saying. If the steak is seasoned right and cooked right, you don't need to put any steak sauce. Now, I like barbecue sauce on certain kinds of meats and stuff or ribs, but on steak, I don't want anything but the salt and the fat and the juices from itself. That's what I like. I don't like in America because there's a very popular steak sauce in America called A1. But A1, in my opinion, works for people who like steak well done. And when I look at people like my father, when I see people order steak well done, I think to myself, what are you doing? You're ruining. It's like, to me, it's like cardboard flavored. It's like meat it's like you're eating cardboard that's flavored like meat. You know, it's dry and it's chewy, like hard. And so I understand the steak sauce, but I like my meat just with the salt and the fat, right? Things like that.
You should go to Italy and eat like cinghiale.
Here it is right here, I think.
Oh gosh, please guys, if you have any questions about Italy, do it because the teacher is beat and he has to go to sleep, so go for it.
You gotta go to sleep now?
You don't do it. I'm beat. You should if you have any questions, please let's answer. It would really be it would be really good. See, I'm starting to have low battery. Good to answer the questions. This is for me. You don't do
it's not for you. It's a comment. It's a comment from Peekaboo.
From what I know, you don't do
with the sauce. And once you've lost,
you can look. You can have pizza with sliced tomatoes. I've seen it, and it's possible. But you do not put tomato sauce. It's like you have something that tastes like tomatoes, and you put something that is a tomato that has different taste, but it's the same thing. It's like if I put like mayonnaise and another brand of mayonnaise. I mean, they will taste. This is the same taste, but it's a little bit different. So don't put like. That's the point. It's taste of tomato.
I have to disagree.
That's the point. You kill the taste. You don't understand. You kill the taste.
Like we say in Portuguese, nada a ver. Whatever. I don't know.
Exactly. There's nada a ver. Wherever putting the tomato sauce and sliced tomato on it is like to do the Fort cheese with tomato sauce. It's crazy.
What does Austin say? Let's check out these questions and we'll wrap it up. Is a good, great, yeah.
Bracciale di bistecca, amico mio, non me fa davvero. Sto in Brasile 7 anni, non mi mangio una bracciola. Literally, I said, please don't torture me because I've been here for 7 years and a half and I haven't eaten the typical things of Italy, and I'm umbro, you know.
Yeah, brisket. A brisket is a kind of meat that is cooked the way I do the fraldinha. It's a big piece of meat. You season it very heavily. It's cooked for a while, smoked in heat. It's very delicious. But it's a little different than the fraldinha, than what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Deborah did mention she is Brazilian because we asked her, right? She talked about the best. She's right here. I'm Brazilian. So yeah,
Yeah, Raquel, the Raquel is Brazilian. Typical
yeah.
Brazilian
I know it's
surname.
a Brazilian name, but I wasn't sure, right?
Who
So
knows?
yeah, who knows? Anyways, so yeah, let's look at this. Let's kind of wrap this up. How funny is it that when we have an Italian on and we're discussing pizza, it's just, what's funny, Marty? Getting into the topic of food is almost like an inevitable category that I fall in. Like I have a whole list of questions here. I almost didn't ask any of them with
How about
Javier,
you?
and I
You can
kind of,
ask.
that's okay. I kind of knew we were gonna get like this
We can
because
do it again.
you're a friend of mine, and we can definitely do it again. But you're a friend of mine, and like I already kind of knew how this was gonna turn out, and I knew this was gonna be, hopefully it was, but it was gonna be enriching for my audience because you and I, like I started the show off by saying, we're friends. We're both English teachers. We both come from abroad and we live in the same city. So you and I both come here with different perspectives from different backgrounds and different cultures, immersed in a totally different culture. From what I got from you, there's not so many differences as far as some of the cultural nuances that you find in Brazil like you are in Italy. Whereas as an American, totally different. Like there's nothing the same. There's really like the way you talk, interact with people,
No,
how you.
there are many differences. We don't have the time to talk about, but there are some cultural shocks and things that are different. Like there are many things that Brazilians are similar to Italians, Europeans in general, especially Italians. Maybe because Italians like immigrate a lot here. But yes, the experience was kind of light. But there are still things that we may talk another time, in another life, will be very nice. That they're really different, really, really different. The pizza with tomato slices is one of them. The same thing.
That's funny. That's so fun. That's so funny. Well, what do we say in English? Different strokes for different folks. And that's the
Yeah.
thing, guys. I wanted, and yeah, let's kind of wind this down. One of the things, and one of my aims for doing this was to have done what I believe I achieved, and that's just to bring kind of a, you could say, cultural awareness to people. We live in the same world, but we come from different parts of it. And we see nowadays what's going on in America and the world, this, division of people, of race and stuff. And I'm in the category like there's really no difference in races. We're all the human race, but there's big differences in nationalities and in cultures. And we have to respect where people come from, because if you think about it, we as people are an accumulation of our experiences. Like we are an accumulation of our memories. Like a person who has amnesia, who are they? They don't have a name, they don't have a background, they don't have a history. So I think we as people, we need to go back and look at people as people and not as color and not as titles. Because here in Brazil, and this is something else I wanted to touch on, but we didn't have time. But here in Brazil, there's a big class difference. There are the haves and the have-nots. That's a bigger division of people than the races. I would think you would agree with me, right, Rafael? There's a bigger division between classes than races here.
Like the slice, tomato slice with the
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of like my point about that. And the fact that you and I are English teachers, we're trying to do our part to bridge the gap of these differences via English, via the communication. Via communication. And I don't plan these lives to be like English lessons like I do my videos. My videos are to kind of do that. My videos are to help people to be better communicators and help people who are learning English by themselves, to help teachers to improve their lessons and things like that. Tongue twisters for fun. But I want my lives to be more down to earth, raw. I want to engage like we did today. This was wonderful. Engage with people. I'm full of opinions and points of views. People who know me know that about me. And I never claimed to know everything, but I've lived quite a bit in these 4 decades. And Rafael, I assume you the same. You've traveled a lot. You come from different cultures. So experiences help us, I believe, to achieve understanding. And when you have that, you're able to relate better to people. So that was my aim. I hope you enjoyed it, Rafael. I hope you did. I did. I had a good time. I hope everybody in the chat.
I had.
Yeah, good. I hope
We
everybody.
can do it again, by the way. We can talk about many other things. It's fine. We can stay like talking for 3 hours, but I think that everybody wants, wants the second part. I think
people, and we have different time zones here because there's quite a few people in America here. We have Allison who's in Italy now. So what time is it there? It's like maybe 3 o'clock.
It should be like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, about 3 o'clock in the morning.
That.
So there
crazy.
There are these big time differences here. So I choose.
Which is normal in Italy, by the way.
Yeah, I choose 9 o'clock at night because it's easier for me. My children are sleeping. We live in Brazil, so there's always lots of noise in the streets and the cars and the motorcycles. And at least where I live, there's kind of like a main street.
Depends.
Here. Yeah, so that's why I choose this time. Those of you guys in the chat, be aware. I think I'm going to change because I've been going on Tuesday nights. I think one night I went on Wednesday, and I think I'm going to change to Wednesday because of the time difference in America. There's a meeting that I'm not seeing on Tuesdays because of the time difference. So I think I'm going to make a change from Tuesday night to Wednesday night, but I still plan on going live once a week. So just keep your eyes open. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, check it out. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you guys want to know more about Rafael, follow him on Instagram. That's his tag. Send him a DM. Get in contact with him. He posts very interesting videos. A lot of them are Portuguese based. So those of you guys in America and stuff may not get it. But if you guys are Brazilian and you want to see a different point, check out Rafael's channel. Good stuff. If you want to get in contact with me, you can leave a comment on the video. I will save it. And you could also reach me on Instagram as well. I reach out. I communicate and answer everybody. I may not do it immediately because I'm a very busy guy, but I do make an effort to engage with you guys. What I do is out of love. I love what I do, and my aim is to help people, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I believe Rafael is the same. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be friends because birds of a feather flock together. So,
that's true.
Right? So without further ado, guys, I'm glad y'all made it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will save this in my feed on my channel, share it, and I hope to see you next live. All right, guys. Rafael is great. Thank you for being here. Stick around for a minute. Man. Stick around for a minute. Don't go just yet. But yeah. But the rest of you guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for engaging in the chat. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to check out Rafael. Send him some love, and I'll catch you guys in the next live. I'm Mr. Finn, and I'll catch you guys later. Bam!